Is hydrogen the next fuel of the world? How badly is the use of fossil fuels destroying the environment? Are electric vehicles the solution? No, electric vehicles are not always zero-emission vehicles. Although they do not emit CO2 while driving, they may emit it during other stages. And then, what is the ultimate solution? Hydrogen? Stay with us on Country Facts to find out. But before that, please do subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit that like button. In 2021, the United States used about 134.83 billion gallons of fuel, which is about 3.21 billion barrels. This is an average of about 369 million gallons per day. This was about 6% less than the record high of almost 392 million gallons per day, which was reached in 2018. The use of electric cars may be the reason behind the less consumption of fuel in recent years. But the question that rises up here is whether electric cars are the only thing to save our environment. No, electric cars are not emission-free vehicles. We have seen that they don't give off CO2 when they're being driven, but they might do so at 3 other times: when they're being made, when they're making energy, and when they're being thrown away. In the first case, mining is needed to get the rare earth metals that are used in batteries. This takes a lot of energy and makes a lot of pollution. And as for how the energy is made, if the car gets its power from burning fossil fuels, it still puts CO2 into the air, not through the tailpipe, but from a power plant far away. The process of recycling batteries is still expensive and never ends, so most batteries are not recycled yet. Even so, people are working on ways to make electric cars more green, eco-friendly, and long-lasting. Even though there is still room for improvement, we have also seen that electric cars, as they are now, are already better for the environment than traditional fossil fuel cars over their entire life cycle, especially if they run on clean electricity. Some countries already know this, which is why they are helping the electric car market grow, mostly by giving tax breaks that make the cars more competitive on the market. In fact, countries like Norway, Germany, and Costa Rica are putting more money into renewable energy sources and setting dates for when traditional cars will no longer be allowed on their roads. But in the end, are electric cars the answer to our problem with mobility and sustainability? We are running to avoid the 2 degrees Celsius temperature rise and the bad things that will happen because of climate change. But is planning for the best the same as avoiding bad things? Yes, definitely is. Using alternative fuels alone won't fix the problem of ozone in the worst affected areas, but it can relieve it to some extent. Alternative fuels and technologies such as natural gas, methanol, ethanol, and liquid petroleum gas or LPG, which includes propane, hydrogen, electricity, and reformulated gasoline, are or could be used in cars. Even though most of the attention has been on small vehicles, most of the fuels can also be used in big trucks. There are also different ways to use these fuels, such as the classic internal combustion engine, electric motors with batteries, or fuel cells running on hydrogen or methanol. Now that we know the possible fuels, let's discuss petroleum, natural gas, and hydrogen in detail. Starting with petroleum. Petroleum, which is also called crude oil, is a liquid that is naturally found below the surface of the earth and can be turned into fuel. Petroleum is a fossil fuel that's made when organic matter breaks down over time. It is used to power cars, heaters, and machines, and it can also be turned into plastic. Since most of the world depends on petroleum for many goods and services, the petroleum industry has a big impact on world politics and the global economy. The economy and politics of the world are affected by how and where oil is found, refined, and sold. Many of the biggest companies in the world either extract and process petroleum or make things like plastics, fertilizers, cars, and planes that are made from petroleum. Petroleum is found by drilling for oil and then refined and separated into different types of fuels. Petroleum is made up of different types of hydrocarbons with different molecular weights. The denser the petroleum, the harder it is to process and the less valuable it is. Natural gas. Natural gas is a gaseous mixture of hydrocarbons, mostly methane, that has no smell. About 30% of the energy used in the United States comes from this source. About 40% of the fuel is used to make electricity, and the rest is used for things like heating and cooking in homes and businesses, as well as in factories. Even though natural gas is a proven, reliable alternative fuel that has been used to power natural gas vehicles for a long time, only about 2% of it's used to power vehicles. Most of the natural gas in the United States is considered a fossil fuel because it comes from sources that were made from organic materials over millions of years by heat and pressure acting on them. while renewable natural gas, which is the other name for biomethane, is a pipeline-quality fuel for vehicles. It is made by cleaning biogas, which is made by anaerobic digestion of organic materials like garbage and animal waste, or by thermochemical processes like gasification. Since RNG is chemically the same as conventional natural gas made from fossil fuels, it can use the same natural gas distribution system and must be compressed or liquefied to be used in cars. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is a clean alternative to methane, which is also known as natural gas. It is the most common chemical element and is thought to make up 75% of the universe's mass. On Earth, water, plants, animals, and of course people all have a lot of hydrogen in them. But even though it's in almost all molecules and living things, as a gas it's very rare, less than 1 part per million by volume. Hydrogen can be made from many different things like natural gas, nuclear power, biogas, and renewable energy sources like solar and wind. The problem is how to use hydrogen as a gas to power our homes and businesses on a large scale. How can hydrogen be the next fuel of the world? Fuel is a chemical that can be burned to make energy that can be used. When something burns, the chemical bonds between the elements in the fuel break, and the elements combine chemically with oxygen. But the only thing we get rid of when we burn hydrogen is water vapor. Cars that run on hydrogen fuel cells already exist. There are 96 public hydrogen refueling stations in Japan where you can fill up your car just like you would with gasoline or diesel and in the same amount of time. Germany has the most of these stations with 80, and the United States is in third place with 42. Hydrogen is also an interesting and lightweight fuel option for cars, planes, and ships. DHL, a company that delivers packages all over the world, already has a fleet of 100 H2o panel vans that can go 500 kilometers without stopping to refuel. The world is moving towards hydrogen, and so is Saudi Arabia, but let's see how. Saudi Arabia is building a green hydrogen project in Neom that will cost $5 billion and use renewable energy to make 650 tons of carbon-free hydrogen every day. The plant will start making things in 2026. The project will send hydrogen in the form of liquid ammonia to the world market, where it will be used as a biofuel to power vehicles. About 4.3 gigawatts of clean energy will be needed to power the plant. ACWA Power, one of the 3 project owners, plans to use solar energy during the day and wind energy during the night. This will get rid of the need for batteries and other expensive storage solutions. Many experts agree that green hydrogen, a carbon-friendly, non-toxic gas made from renewable energy, can be a big part of making the economy green gas neutral by 2050, which will help fight global warming. So now let's get back to electric cars. This makes me wonder, how many electric cars are there in the world? Well, the most recent numbers show that there are over 5.6 million electric vehicles in the world. In 2018, the number of EVs jumped from 3.4 million to 5.6, which is a huge 64% increase. A study by Bloomberg NEF shows that the global electric vehicle market will grow in size and use over time. The report shows that only 3% of cars sold around the world are electric vehicles right now. By 2025, 10% of all sales and passenger cars around the world will be electric, and by 2030 that number will be 28%, and by 2040, 58%. And it's the same situation for electric trucks. All over the world, the market for electric trucks is getting more active. This market's comprised of traditional truck makers who now have a full line of zero-emissions vehicles and newcomers like startups or joint ventures. According to IHS Markit, a primary market analysis group, 346 electric truck models were registered in 2021, out of which Volvo Trucks is 42% of the market. In the end, we can see that hydrogen can be the best option in order to replace fuels. So what do you think we'll drive, on electric or possibly fuels or hydrogen in the future? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like today's video, please check out more videos like this on our channel, subscribe to our channel, and please hit that like button for more updates.